Welcome to ESPN's coverage of the USA Rugby Division 1A National Championship. We're 20 miles north of Atlanta as the St. Mary's Gales face off again against the Life University Running Eagles in Kennesaw, Georgia. And welcome, I'm Ed Cohen. Great to be joined by the former fullback with the USA Eagles, Dan Power. Wouldn't you know it, these two teams met for the title the last 2 years. They split with St. Mary's winning a year ago. So this matchup here, it's not just for a championship, it's for supremacy.
Oh, 100%, Ed. The two best schools in the country meet again for the third year. And if you think the weather's hot, this rivalry is getting even hotter.
It certainly is hot, but you look at St. Mary's, this is a team, when they're going, watch out. Explosive attack, but so much of that begins with the front three.
It certainly does. Everyone's focusing on this amazing backline for St. Mary's. Let's not forget the front rowers, especially Waldron and Pat, returning All-Americans, started together, hopefully going to finish together here with a national championship.
On the other side, Life University, they are located just 20 minutes down the road in Marietta, Georgia. They eat, they sleep, they breathe rugby, and someone who does it maybe more than anybody, their most experienced player, Blaine McElroy.
That's right, Blaine Rory McElroy, the native of Belfast in Ireland, joined the squad 2 years ago, back-to-back championships. He is absolutely laser-like off the boot and precision with his passing. Needs a big game here today from him.
For more on the fly half from Belfast, we turn it over now to the third member of our crew. Say hello to Renee Herlocker.
Quite the distance and journey this next athlete has traveled to get here. On a 4-year student visa coming over from Belfast, Northern Ireland, Blaine McElroy is here on this journey and is super excited about it. I mean, you put up 11 points in the semis against Lindenwood. Are you going to repeat that performance here?
Hopefully, yeah. The weather's good and the pitch looks amazing, so hopefully I've got no excuses really. So I've got the duties of kicking, which is good and bad with the pressure, but hopefully I can knock them over, yeah.
So you're kind of celebrating your 2-year anniversary of sorts on that visa. Did you ever think that all of this would, happen in the 2-year stint?
Well, I knew Life were one of the better sides, but to be in my back consecutive national championship final is a pretty good record, which I'm pretty happy with. And the team are brilliant. The coaching staff are brilliant. So they're the ones that deserve all the credit for running such a great program.
Awesome. Well, good luck out there today.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Cheers.
It's the ultimate test of strength and endurance in the Georgia Heat. Gales and Running Eagles for a championship coming up next. Welcome back on a sizzling afternoon in Kennesaw, Georgia, Fifth Third Bank Stadium for the Division 1A National Championship, the rematch Part 3 between Life University and St. Mary's College. And first, the lineup, the starting 15 for the Gales.
Yeah, what an impressive lineup. We talked about Pratt and Waldron in the pre-game, Ed, but watch out for Kingsley McGowan in the 10 jersey. Absolutely electric. You think the weather's hot here today? Let me tell you, his footwork is 10 degrees hotter. And Cooper Maloney, he won them the championship last year. Another big game as we shift our attention to Life. They're going to try to win this up front, and it comes down to the big man, Hiku Malu in the 6 jersey, the enforcer. But McFadden, he returns after a year absence from the team, and he is pumped up to make a vengeance for the loss last year.
Hiko Malu from the Kingdom of Tonga, the head coach of Life, is from Fiji. And then on to California, Tui Osborne, a musician, a head coach taking over for Dan Payne and trying to make it another championship at Life. And on the other side, Tim O'Brien, former star at Cal, and for the U.S. National Rugby Union team in the early 80s, he's trying to lead the Gales to back-to-back championships. They travel heavy from Marietta, Georgia to cheer on Life University, a school that loves rugby and has committed so much to the sport. They were champions 2 years ago, beating St. Mary's by 2 points in Greensboro, North Carolina. Last year on California, closer to St. Mary's turf, the Gales won 21-6. So we wiped the slate clean, but for these juniors and seniors who've been a part of all of these matchups, this one means a lot more than just winning a title.
Oh, you can vouch for this. Talking to some of the seniors from both sides, how important this rubber match is. They want to come away on the bright side of this ledger, 2-1, and it makes for a very enthralling battle.
St. Mary's coming up that semifinal win against Davenport out of the Mid-South. Life University victorious
Captain.
over Lindenwood.
Paul.
Ready to roll. 30 players, 1 championship on the line here in Kennesaw, Georgia. Life University in the green and black uniforms, St. Mary's in the blue and red. And we have our referee, Phil Ackroyd, mic'd up for this championship here in Kennesaw, Georgia.
Yeah, Phil Ackroyd, one of the more experienced campaigners as far as referees go in the United States. Could not be a better man to have the whistle for this decider. He will call it even and fair right down the middle for both teams.
Okay, first line out. Here's your mark.
Here we go. And very important to assert your dominance at the set piece early. The lineouts and scrum are going to be critical. They're going to provide both teams for an attacking platform. Let's get a first look at this lineout for St. Mary's.
And the lift for the Gales taken down by Mike Tilson, their lock, and given right back here to Life. And this, certainly a pro-Life crowd in terms of rooting on the running Eagles. Breakaway speed, Mark Rubin, the outside center, inching across the 22-meter line. And this is a Life team that a lot more physical than St. Mary's, but that doesn't mean they can't match all the action on attack that the Gales provide.
No, McElroy very modest during the week in the lead-up to this game about his attacking prowess. He can definitely let that ball sing if he needs it, and they get an early penalty here for an eye shot. Don't be surprised if they take the early 3 points on offer here.
Shot at goal.
Yeah, very sound option there from Life. Points on the board are going to be a premium here. Any championship game points, especially like this with a kicker like McElroy in your side. You do not turn down 3 points early on. And a great start for Life University if they can put this one through the post.
Blaine McElroy, we heard from him at the top from Belfast, Northern Ireland. Converted 4 times for conversions along with a penalty goal. So 11 points against Lindenwood 1 week ago in the semifinals.
They say goal kicking is very similar to golf. He shares the same last name as probably one of the best golfers in the world at the moment. He also has a 2 handicap with the sticks as well. And it's he can't stake claim to being the best golfer named McElroy he knows, unfortunately, even with a 2 handicap. And he makes no mistake, so sliding that one through the post.
This McElroy roars in 2 points. An early start here, rather 3 points for Life.
The advantage of having a kicker like McElroy cannot be underestimated. 3 points is going to be huge here for Life. Every time that St. Mary's get penalised within their own half, McElroy will have a shot, and he's going to hurt them if they keep giving away penalties.
So the early lead for Life University from Marietta, Georgia. St. Mary's from Moraga, California, 20 miles east of San Francisco. Contact there after the whistle. But both teams quick to put it away.
Pass forward.
The final last year was highlighted by a lot of niggle. There was a lot of ill will between some of the players. Some of them have graduated, but let me tell you, it's going to carry over. Both these sides know how important the win is, both not only for their school, but for their graduating players. So the intensity will be pretty high.
So the niggle carries over here to the 4th minute, we say.
The niggle from last year, it's going to carry on. These guys, this is their 3rd year. They do not like each other, and they were very good all week about saying how respectful they are of the programs. But I promise you, behind closed doors, St. Mary's don't like Life, and the feeling is mutual coming from Life to St. Mary's.
Holden Youngert feeds the first scrum here for St. Mary's. Now, what's going to be the challenge here for Life against that front 3 that you talked about at the top for the Gales?
Yeah, the front row, a very, very proud bunch. And when you are playing against representative front rowers, you take it upon yourself to not only say to them, hey, I'm your equal, I'm your better. You're saying to the selectors who may have overlooked some of these Life players for the All-American side that you guys made the wrong choice. I'm a better player than Waldron. I'm a better player than Pratt. But if you're Waldron and Pratt, you're saying, not on my watch, big fella. I'm the #1 front rower in college rugby in America.
Big group up front there for St. Mary's. Here come the Gales. Take the scrum, pass a little behind. Cooper Maloney able to handle. Keep it alive for St. Mary's. Maloney last year was the MVP of the D1A final. Miscommunication, a ricochet out to Henry Hall, one of the locks. Wide here to Colombo. Pratt drags the pile. Over 5 minutes gone by, and St. Mary's trying to get on the board. Down 3-0. Here's the cutout down the touchline to the 5 meters.
It's fantastic defense there. A bend, not break philosophy employed by Life University. You see them come up aggressively. They force McGowan to pass to his left, and they just push them towards the sideline. Because the sideline's the greatest defender ever, as we listen to Phil Ackroyd.
An option, not forward into touch, scrum or line out. I'll take scrum.
So there we have that option. 2 infringements. He knocked the ball forward. It went over the sideline. He has a choice, scrum or line out. Obviously, some teams are strong in the scrum, others in the line out. You can choose your strong point there. And Life University saying we're going to have a crack at this scrum early on, and they elect for a scrum.
Marcus Walsh, number 9, the scrum half, native of Dublin, Ireland, will feed it in here for Life University. A 3-0 lead on the penalty goal from their star, Blaine McElroy.
Early, pushed off the mark by Red.
There you go. Nice little early push there from St. Mary's. Short arm penalty here. That's a huge pressure reliever for Life. Gives them an opportunity to kick this ball into touch without any pressure. McElroy making no mistake there with a nice little banana kick up to the 22. St. Mary's with the throw in here. We saw them on their first line out, very, very strong. Let's see if they can unleash this potent back line off the back of this line out.
Mike O'Neill, the hooker. The lift for Vilu Halu. Given up to Life. Fight for possession. Forward pass, and play is stopped.
A lot of infringements there. We had a couple of little knock-on both ways there. First one coming off Malou, though, the big man out of Life, looking to put his fingerprint on this game early on. Unfortunately, a little bit of a sloppy carry there from him. So now we have another look as we take a look at the replay. Just a poor handle here from that's after the initial knock on there, but a couple of infringements, and again a little bit of push and shove on the ground there. The feelings starting to be shown by both teams.
So why are we set? Same scrum.
We've already seen the set piece, very strong from St. Mary's. A little bit of a breakdown at the line out. Centre field scrum, you've got options each way. McGowan sets himself to the left, and that could be a little bit of a bait and trap here from St. Mary's, because you've got Cooper Maloney to the right, who's very, very dangerous. Sometimes the key attacking player will go one way. There's a bit of a smoke and mirrors. They get the penalty anyway there, infringement, and they tap and go quick.
Now comes St. Mary's as Kevin O'Connor, the number 8, runs into trouble. Big hit leveled away from the ball. Now is Jake Anderson, their captain.
Your hands are on the ground, back 10. Stay on your feet, please. Hands all over the ground.
There you go, playing the ball on the ground there against the captain Anderson, but a huge collision. That's what we like to see. The big hits early. Now a chance to equalise through Audsley. He'll take a shot at 3. We watched them in the warm-up. Both kickers very proficient from inside that 40-metre line.
Dylan Audsley converted his first 6 kicks at goal in the semis. Also had a 60-metre try in that win against Davenport.
A very strong rugby family. Younger brother Audsley played down at Oxy College in California. Also had a very strong rugby career down there. British born as he strikes that ball nicely. Just across the face, so no good on the penalty. Score remains 3 points to 0. And that's a big miss there for St. Mary's.
Chance to tie it. Audsley off the mark.
There we go. He will be hoping to get that one back maybe at a later stage. Good chance to equal things up there from Audsley. Unfortunately, cannot find the rhythm off the boot early on.
This is the Division 1A championship on the men's side. Life University 20 minutes up the road here in Kennesaw, Georgia from campus in Marietta. And they lead St. Mary's in the early going 3-0. The Gales from the Bay Area in California. Ed Cohen, former USA fullback Dan Power, and our entire crew led by Mike Cohen and Dave Hagan for this rematch number 3. Third straight year they're meeting for the title. St. Mary's took it a year ago. Life 2 years before that. St. Mary's on the move. Little fake there and a cut for McGowan.
There you go, obstruction called, and that's a critical penalty to give away when you're on the attack. Kingsley McGowan looking to chance his arm there, run himself early on. You see his right ankle's heavily taped to McGowan. Could be carrying a little bit of an injury that will definitely affect him. We'll keep a close eye on that as the game progresses.
McGowan a big piece, the fly half for St. Mary's. He's picked up a lot more touches since shifting to the number 10 position. And this one kicked into touch by Life.
Another chance to attack here for Life. Last time they came down into St. Mary's end of the field, they were able to pick up an easy 3 points. And that's their style of rugby they're going to want to play. They're a grind them, drag them into deep waters and drown them type of rugby team. And this will play right into the elements. They can just keep putting the points on. 3 points, 3 points. All of a sudden that adds up. And St. Mary's are looking at a pretty impressive deficit.
Thrown to the lift of Jake Anderson. Almost 12 minutes into this championship. Life pushing here, trying to add to a 3-0 lead. Ricochets and lands right back with Mark Gribben, but play is stopped.
Pulling them all down.
There you go, pulling them all down. And one of the players that going to help them a lot here, Tyrus Baytops. We got a chance to talk to him during the week. What an interesting player he is.
And for more on the star from Charlotte, North Carolina, let's go down to Renee Herlocker.
Yeah, guys, I think it's really important to remember that these amazing athletes are students first. In the case of Tyrus Baytops, he's pulled back-to-back 4.0 GPAs in the last 2 quarters. He's the first in his family to go to college in general, and he's a part and an active member of the National Guard. So let's see if National Champ can be added to his resume.
What a story. He grew up in inner city Charlotte, idolized Michael Jordan for his work ethic. It's a Carolina thing, but between what he's done in the classroom and on the pitch, pretty amazing stuff.
Yeah, he's an incredible young man, Tyrus. Also part of the National Guard as well, just adding to that resume. We called him the Dos Equis man, the most interesting man in rugby. He had a story about everything.
And there he is, the left wing, Life University. Over 13 minutes in, leading this championship 3-0.
Pulling it down. Keep that bind up nice and high, please. Body position, that's it. Body position. I'll let you know.
Now the scrum is almost a game within a game here for the forwards, the scrum battle. These guys absolutely revel in this stuff, this physical battle here, and it's very good for Ackroyd. He wants to get in early and lay a platform with both teams on how he wants the scrum to go, because it's going to keep the game open and enjoyable for everyone. There you go, he's obviously not happy there with the Life, and St. Mary's are going to attack quickly.
Wait, stop.
Punted towards touch, and this one stays in. Drifting back, Mitchell Wilson, the fullback, to start it up for Life. Taken by Kevin O'Connor. And poached again. And this one into touch.
Nice option there from St. Mary's. Just not anything happening, ball in hand. Play the territory game as they drive that one down into touch. And Van Skoltvik cannot get across there, the South African born winger.
There's Tui Osborne, head coach of Life University. Took over for Dan Payne, now his boss, the athletic director. A different approach on the sideline from the two coaches, but with this senior-laden group and some youngsters, they've found a way to listen to that new voice and make it a great season. St. Mary's on the move. Here's O'Connor. Stiff arm. Stays alive. McGowan ducks a tackle and almost connected with Colombo along the touchline.
Okay. 13. 13 high.
It looks like he's gone in for a lazy high tackle here. Just a penalty there. You see the arm slips up over the head of McGowan. That pass goes to hand. Could be trouble as Colombo unmarked on the outside. Could have raced away for our first try of the game. Now St. Mary's, though, will put this one into the corner, electing not to go for the 3 points after the early miss from Audsley.
So about 10 meters out, a line out here will be thrown in by Mike O'Neill, the hooker from San Francisco. St. Mary's inside the 5 meters. Dino Waldron got him there. Trying for the first try of the match. Jersey pulled of Waldron, the tight head prop. Barton. The push here, Ryan Pratt closer to the try line. McGowan leaves it off, and a touchdown. The try here for Dylan Audsley. Dotted down for 5.
The inside center strikes first, but let's not discredit the lead-up work from Kingsley McGowan as we take a look on the replay. St. Mary's playing incredibly flat on offense, which means they're going to play a very direct style of attack, and you see that there. What a sensational little pass from McGowan as he pulls in 3 defenders, drops it on his left hip there to Audsley for the first try. And St. Mary's take the lead, 5 points to 3 here, conversion to come. No mistakes from Audsley, slots that one right down the middle, 7-3, and now St. Mary's strike back.
Dylan Audsley, 7 points on this trip, and let's watch near the try line.
Just look at the great lead-up that work there from McGowan. 3 light players committed to him before he dished that ball off, and that's what you want from your fly half. You want them to start making questions of the defense. Once defenders start second-guessing what they're doing as a defensive unit, that's when he's won the battle, and he won it right there.
Kingsley McGowan with the setup, the All-American. And the kickoff here for St. Mary's.
Already a lot of penalties. That's cynical. Back 10.
You see, referee Aykroyd, this niggly little stuff that Life's doing, these multiple infringements, it could cost him in the long run because he's going to eventually have to pull a yellow card and give one of the boys 10 minutes in the bin there if they continue to infract like this, because it affects not only the flow of the game, but it also affects the flow of St. Mary's offense.
Line out here at the halfway line. Through the hands of the lift, went through Tilson, but taken here by the Gales. Audsley, hammered down. Cut it outside to the left. And again pushed into touch and some extracurriculars after the whistle.
Nothing like a little bit of pepper on your steak there. Good stuff from Life again, employing that bend not break philosophy on defense, just sliding across nicely, letting St. Mary's play lateral. And that is the bad thing about playing that flat style of offense. If you start moving the ball without going forward, eventually you'll run into the sideline. Great job there from Life defending that play.
Alex Mon feeds it in, taken down by Jake Anderson.
Yeah, Morton needs to figure his throws out. That's the second one in a matter of minutes there. It's not been straight. Just giving possession away to St. Mary's And as we saw earlier, when McGowan gets on a roll, finding Audsley, they just cannot be giving cheap possession away.
Don't engage until I say it's pretty simple. Yes, understood? Yes, sir. Thank you.
Let's give a bigger gap, huh, between the hooker and feet.
He's looking for a specific standard early in this game, referee Phil Ackroyd, isn't he?
He's looking for a clean bind from both teams, which he's looking at right now. And then when they make contact, he wants a nice, solid base set. So both teams in the scrum, they've made contact before the push comes. And I think Life are giving him more issues in St. Mary's with that early on.
Good. Settle.
Youngert, and now McGowan. With speed, St. Mary's on the move. Taken in there by Cooper Maloney, last year's MVP. Mike McCarthy.
Green 10 offside.
Offsides was the call on Life.
Over there. Green 10 offside.
Lane McElroy.
He's got Blaine there offside on face play, and you'd have to think in this position you're going to take a shot at points. Referee Ackroyd, he agrees with me, as does St. Mary's, and they will take a shot at 3.
Water break in the heat here in Georgia, so play a stop. Let's go down to Renee Herlocker.
I spoke with lead referee Rich Every, and he said that in extreme conditions, much like today, we're pushing 90 out here on the field, that it's at his discretion to add 1 water break per half. Both teams mutually agreed. That's what you're seeing here. 2 minutes of water break will be added then later for lost time at the end of each quarter, guys.
All right, Renee, no doubt it is hot out there, let alone for a championship. And count 3 here. So a quick water break, and then Dylan Audsley comes through with the boot.
Yeah, we're going to get that water break now. The players have got about 2 minutes to grab a drink and rehydrate. Very important, like you said, in these conditions, to keep their fluids up.
So now a 10-3 lead for the Gales after Audsley converts once again. He has all 10 points as they get a little hydrated out there. Road to the championship for the Gales, and some high-scoring affairs against Utah, and then last week against Davenport.
Yeah, they were very impressive, and it comes down to Dylan Audsley getting a hat-trick against Utah, and then another double against Davenport. We've already seen him get one here today. And for the Life University, also an interesting road through.
Running Eagles, and remember, they struggled to score coming out of the Mid-South early, but then they take care of business in the quarterfinals. Rout Penn State 64-3. And then against Lindenwood, a 20-plus point victory for Life. The road to this championship. And here we are for the 3rd consecutive year. It's the Gales and the Running Eagles meeting for the title. This time, right up the road from Life's campus. Last year, it was won by St. Mary's in California. Tim O'Brien led them to victory. 2 years ago, under head coach Dan Payne, it was Life that captured the title. And we talked to some of those involved. Tyrus Baytops of Life, he said, hey, the 3rd time's the charm. It's time to break the tiebreaker. So this rivalry, you can say, has built into someone wanting to claim the rubber match.
I get the feeling, though, that it may not end at 3 with these two programs. They may run into each other a few more times over the next decade or so.
Kickoff after the drop goal for Audsley. So they're hydrated now. There'll be another water break in the second half, as we heard from Renee, agreed to by the teams.
So he called it infield, carried it out. Okay, that's fine.
There you see Ackroyd asking the assistant referee if he has his 1 foot over the sideline when he makes that catch, it's deemed out in the full. But because O'Connor fielded it in the field of play and then took it over the sideline, it's deemed to come off St. Mary's. Now Life will get possession.
You hear Phil Ackroyd saying, keep it up with the ball.
Keep an eye on 6th green. Use that once! That's your own player that took you down.
Hospital pass, Life trying to extend it. trying to even up the score, at least get closer. Cut back for Mitchell Wilson, the fullback. Escapes Audsley, spun down finally, about 10 meters out.
Isolated 15.
What a great little play there from Dino Waldron. Gets in that tackle quickly, goes to the poach, got right over the top of the live player who was tackled there, the fullback in Wilson, and then forces the penalty against him for holding on. Sensational stuff there from the prop forward.
Comes into touch with almost 24 minutes gone by in this first half. They'll play 40 now and 40 after the break. Here's McGowan.
Beautiful defensive effort there from Life to get that ball on the ground. Not going forward from St. Mary's. They're going to get the scrum here. 40 out from the line. And you have to think this is a nice little platform considering they've had some issues in the scrum though. But this is a nice platform for them to attack off through McElroy.
Wayne McElroy, number 10, in green for Life.
Good work on entering on my call.
Yeah, second day.
Marcus Walsh will feed the scrum.
There you go. Ackroyd not happy with the scrum. He'll reset that. It's more of a player safety issue than anything, especially those front rows. You think you're all bound up. You can't use your hands to protect you if the scrum goes down. They're worried about player safety there, so he will blow the whistle pretty quickly if he sees any of the front row collapse down like that.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Kicked out of the scrum in St. Mary's. There to the pill. And taken out by number 8, Kevin O'Connor. Hit the ground. Out of the ruck comes St. Mary's. From a scoring standpoint, Dylan Audsley's been the star. 10 points for the Gales. But right now, Life gets it back, trying to get a little closer here right up the road from campus.
Yeah, definitely electing to go to the touchline here. They're going to go to the line-out. Penalty entry, the side of the ruck there. Not coming from that north-south position. Referee Ackroyd right on top of things early on at the breakdown, keeping both sides on their toes.
Penalties in general.
Alex Maughan, the freshman hooker, will feed the line out here. Heard the knock-on call. St. Mary's leading Life 10-3, the Division 1A National Championship.
On your feet, Green! Mark, on your feet!
Cut it out wide. Extra feed. Baytop stays in along the touchline. The captain Anderson, the fake, barrels through. Anderson to 5 meters out. Life getting closer. Down by 7 here in the first half. Here's Daniels. In prime position. They're knocking on the door. Tight space right now for Life.
Wayne, 5 back. Away, Red!
They go wide this time and pull it out. Here's Gribben. Try to drag the pile. Dotted down. Yes! A try for life. And they move closer here in the championship.
Oh, great stuff, Mark Gribben. Just pure determination. We take a look at the replay. They had the numbers there, St. Mary's. They just didn't want it bad enough as he tramples over 3 of their players. The Gales' front on's going to look absolutely beautiful as the cover defense can't get there in time. Oh, Ackroyd almost got him as he got sniped there in the background. Try time for life, and they hit back 10 points to 8. Beautiful stuff.
Mark Gribben, like Blaine McElroy from Belfast and like Mr. McElroy from Methodist College High School in Belfast, comes through with the first try for life.
They had a little bit of issues early on with their time. It felt like McElroy and Gribben, obviously both coming from the same school. They knew each other. McElroy just a little bit older than Gribben, but they seem to have figured that out there pretty quickly. That was good lead-up work also from young McFadden, who returns back to dish that ball off to Gribben nice and easily. Now McElroy with a big chance here to equalise.
Already has a penalty goal. Blaine McElroy bends this one through. A conversion, and we're tied up.
There's your try scorer, Gribben there. What a strong run. Look at McElroy insert there. Just does enough to hold up the St. Mary's defence. And then it's just a matter of pure Irish power there as he drives over and scores it. And there you go. Low posts here in Kennesaw State. That one sneaks in. He put a power fade on that McElroy.
Yep. Little Rory with the foot. 30-plus minutes gone by here in the championship, and we're all tied up. Here comes the fullback, Wilson.
Hold there. Settle down, 10 and 5, settle down.
Off the bounce, scooped up by Colombo. Vili Halou, the flanker, number 6 in blue, got a touch there for St. Mary's. He is the brother of Roy Halou, the running back now at the Oakland Raiders.
Marcus, come on. Hold still, please. We already talked earlier about a series of penalties earlier. Here we had blatantly not making an attempt to roll away by number 9. Team offences.
Yellow card issued.
And we talked about this. Ackroyd is just not, he just can't, as a referee, keep control of the game if he allows these little petty infringements to continue and continue. And this is absolutely huge. Now life will play down with 14 players for 10 minutes as little Walsh, he gets to take a little break, pulls the scrum cap off, disappointed with himself. And Audsley gets another chance to retake the lead for St. Mary's with this penalty about 35 out from the post.
He has scored all of St. Mary's points. Now adds to the total. Dylan Audsley had 17 points last week, and St. Mary's reclaims the lead.
And that's a big play too. Not only do Life lose a player, they give up another 3 points here. St. Mary's regain the lead, and now is an opportunity for them to attack as well. Up by 3, down a player. In these conditions, those 14 men left on the field for Life have to work just a little bit harder now, and their fuel tank gets drained a little bit quicker, having to do that extra work.
Have you seen any sign from either team about balancing in terms of stamina, given that it's May and they're playing in near 90-degree heat?
You would think that the momentum would go with Life. They live down here. The humidity is absolutely incredible, as most people here know. Now, St. Mary's from the northern California, from San Francisco area. I know that's a little bit cool. It does get warm, but it's a different type of heat. This is a very sapping, draining heat, especially playing this type of rugby, which they've played so far. It's been pretty physical.
St. Mary's, remember, they were the ones who flew nearly across the country for this match. Last year in their backyard, they beat Life. And the Gales lead by 3. Colombo juggling ball and taking it to touch.
Oh, that's already set there, so the quick line out can't go. Colombo, the inspector, unfortunately inspecting the sideline there as he gets tossed over. And you'd think with that extra player, they'll be a little bit more conservative early on to try to stretch this Life defense, and then the holes will open up. The worst thing they can do is start swinging the ball willy-nilly side to side and letting Life just slowly slide across and let them play out in front of them.
Through the hands. Went off of a St. Mary's player, touched by Halou.
He got him for the not straight throw again, and that comes down to Morn again. We've talked about him with his throws. He needs to fix up his throws. It's such a critical part of the set piece of Life. That's the third one I can recall now that hasn't been straight, and it's costing Life possession.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Fed in by Youngert, and now he's got it again. Walsley fakes the pass, tries to burst through. Lead tackler Mark Ribbon, who had the try for Life.
There you see Ackroyd not quick enough. You need to use it or lose it is the terminology there. St. Mary's, I thought, were lucky to get away with a little obstruction before that. You saw the Life bench up in arms complaining. And then poetic justice now is they're unable to produce that ball to play, and Life will get the scrum here.
We're less than 5 minutes from the break. All 13 St. Mary's points from Maudsley.
Keep those hips tight, please. Crouch! Bind! Set! Hinge it! Three back, unless you want another 10 meters.
You heard the warning there from Phil Ackroyd.
Yeah, he was gonna march them another 10 if they weren't careful.
Life University has a handful of players who hail from Missoula, Montana, including a pair of brothers. For more, let's go down to Renee Herlocker.
Thanks, guys. So Jake Anderson, who's the captain of the Flying Eagles, is not only inspiring on the field, but it's a family thing. And his brother, his older brother, Josh, is really inspiring to this team because of what he's done off the field. He served in Afghanistan as an active member of the military, was injured, and earned a Purple Heart. So needless to say that this team has two brothers they can look up to.
Thank you, Renee. Amazing stories coming from this group, from both sides, but for Life, you have some players active in the military, in the National Guard, including the junior Josh Anderson.
Yeah, that is an absolutely compelling story. It makes 80 minutes of rugby seem simple when you've been over there and faced combat like he has.
Grubber failed there for Wilson. Big tackle there. Frees it up for Life. Gribben. We had the knock-on calls. It's scooped up by O'Connor.
A little bit of messy play there. Those balls, when they get sweaty too, can be very, very difficult to handle, and that's the other downside to this humidity. That thing's going to be like a cake of soap down there for the players, so the passing's going to have to be very crisp and very short. Yeah, okay.
Very nice.
38th minute here. We're going to see McElroy feed this.
Yeah, McElroy actually a scrum half by trade. He's moved to fly half to make room for Walsh. So I was just about to say, not a terrible transition for him to come. This is his natural position. However, that scrum from St. Mary's is huge as they blow the life pack up and earn the penalty. There you go, playing down a man, not in the forward pack. So that is a huge swing of events there for St. Mary's.
Marcus Walsh picked up the yellow card in the 32nd minute. And right now, about 90 seconds or so left here in the first half. St. Mary's from California leading Life University from south, about 20 minutes away here in Georgia in Marietta. A 13-10 lead for the Gales. Younger taken down. Final minute first half. St. Mary's on the move, trying to add to a 3-point lead. Jumping up top there, push and a penalty on Van Skalkwyk.
Could be more trouble here for Life University. You see him reaching into his pocket. This is not going to end well.
Already issued a yellow card to Marcus Walsh.
Penalty was awarded. I said release, back 10, and you pull the player back who was running. You were not 10. Yes, you.
2 men off. Huge with points up for grabs.
Pull back the player. Scrum option. Red ball.
Now down to 13, and they will take the scrum. The reason being, even with 3 points on offer, down a forward pack. Not only a forward, but Anderson, their captain and lock. This is very tough to balance this scrum out now when one of your locks are pulled out. So look for St. Mary's, who just blew the live scrum up, to enforce again right here.
Stay tight.
Time is dead.
Let's go same way, boys.
Crouch! Bind! Set! 1, 2, 3! Steady! Keep it straight, green! Keep it straight, red! Good! Keep it straight!
Taken out by O'Connor.
Release, green! Tackle now! Away!
Through the hands, regathered by Hall.
No advantage.
We've already hit 40 minutes. Dead time here in the first half.
Green. Replacement captain. Your replacement. Go. What's your name? Okay.
And that's it.
Talk to your captain.
1 half in the books. Tui Osborne's Running Eagles down to St. Mary's 13-10. Halftime of the Division 1A National Championship from Georgia. On a hot day north of Atlanta, Georgia, halftime of the Division 1A Men's National Championship between Life University and St. Mary's College. Earlier, it was the women's final. Penn State seeking a 9th championship against Central Washington. Katie Mueller getting ready, and she was certainly ready in this one, Dan.
Oh, she certainly was. Getting a beautiful little offload here from Elizabeth Cairns to dot down. This was the second try for the Nittany Lions, taking it to an early 12-0 lead. But they weren't done. Mia Beta, the beautiful little short ball on the outside to Barber there. She dots that one down, and it was Beta again later. And what a great game it was from the human sledgehammer yet again.
Quite a player who had quite a game in this championship, another one for Penn State. And for more on the winners, let's go down to Renee Herlocker.
joined by the authority, the human sledgehammer, Mia Bitzer. Okay, this is your 9th win. How does it feel?
It feels amazing. Every time feels like the first time, and there's no words I can describe the feeling right now.
And you were an integral part to last year's team 2 times in a row. How does it differ from last year's win?
Last year I was still kind of like learning, I think, learning more than I am now, and this year it was really more of me taking the lead and like helping our younger players develop as much as we can.
It looked like a lot of fun. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
9 titles for Penn State. Who's going to be the champion on the men's side? 40 more minutes for Life and St. Mary's coming up from Kennesaw, Georgia. They've come 20 minutes up the road, hungry for another title. St. Mary's, though, from California, leading Life University by 3 at the break. Ed Cohen, Dan Power back with you, and early on it was Dylan Audsley who came through for the Gales.
Yeah, fantastic lead-up work from Kingsley McGowan first before passing off to Audsley, the man with all the points for St. Mary's, but Life struck back, and it was through the connection there of McFadden to Gribben, and just pure strength and determination from Gribben. Look at him driving over there. Fantastic stuff. That equalised everything up there, but St. Mary's got another 3 points before the half-time to take the lead.
Big half for Dylan Audsley, all scoring for St. Mary's. He caught up with Renee Herlocker.
Dylan, leading into the half, you have all of St. Mary's 13 points. What's up with that?
Well, you know, the kicking just comes with that, and, you know, we've got to thank the guys for putting in the scrums, putting in the work. That's how we get the ball out. So that's how we put the points on the board.
So putting forward the game's, you know, implementation, is the weather affecting that at all? It's pretty slippery out there.
It's hot out here, yeah. I mean, it's slippery ball, not really, because, you know, we get those grippy balls nowadays. But, yeah, I think the heat definitely plays. I lived in Arizona for a bit, so, I mean, I'm used to the heat, so it's good.
Try not to let the humidity affect you.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably better than rain playing on this really nice surface, so it's
well, good luck. Congrats.
Thank you.
Native of Redwood City, California. St. Mary's on top of Life in this rematch, part 3 for a national championship in Division 1A. Halftime here in Kennesaw, Georgia, 20 miles north of Atlanta. Kennesaw State, home of the Owls, and home to us for this 2015 Division 1A National Championship. St. Mary's on top of Life University, 13-10 to see who is the best in collegiate rugby. Ed Cohen back with Dan Power. Renee Herlocker on the sidelines, and this meeting number 3 in the championship in as many years. 2 years ago, it was Life capturing the title in North Carolina by 2 points over St. Mary's. Gales, a little better last year, winning 21-6. So you've seen some close scoring games between the two. Last year, St. Mary's pulling away. Right now, it's a 3-point margin at the break. So what happens here for Life? Let's down to Renee Herlocker with head coach Tui Osborne.
Coach, headed into the half, just down a little bit. What do you need to tell your players to come out strong this half?
I told them to actually work harder than that half. We're killing ourselves by not playing the game in their half. So that was a talk at half for them to come harder, play a better 40 than that.
Any particular players that you're looking to pull through here?
We got our captain, Jake Anderson. He's always a game changer, and he's leading the guys well. So he's out with the bin right now, but hopefully come back on and carry the team.
Thank you so much. Good luck out there.
Thank you.
What are your thoughts on the approach here for Life?
I couldn't agree more with the words of Tui Osborne there. It is a territory game in championship rugby, and right now Life are playing out of their own end way too much. We talked about the missed throws on the lineouts that's hurting them. The scrum infractions are hurting them. And now 2 yellow cards. They're going to play with close to 20 minutes with only 13 players on the field for the entire game here. And that, in these conditions, could hurt them at the end of the game.
A lot of energy expended on a normal basis, but in 90-degree heat, down a few points, down a few men, a big test coming up for Life U. School that was established in 1974, started as a chiropractic school and then evolved further and was added to a rugby school in the mid-90s. So you chiropractors, you have rugby players. It's a perfect match, right?
You did talk about a great referral business right there. They've put out a couple of really good rugby players over the last few years. None more than Cam Dolan, currently playing over in the UK professionally. Also played for the USA Eagles out of Naples in Florida, home of the Bears. He played for the Bears and the mighty Hammerheads down there. And a couple other guys you see on this as well we could see in the future representing the United States at rugby.
St. Mary's Gales under Tim O'Brien, who was a great at Cal.
Let's go, fellas. So all set up.
Phil Ackroyd, our official, getting them ready for the second half. 40 minutes to a title here in 2015. Tim O'Brien took over at St. Mary's in 2001, 15 years leading the Gales, resurrecting the program, and now trying to make it back-to-back championships.
You get referee Ackroyd, see that, he's just counting the players, making sure life's still down to 13.
Captain ready?
And you're going to get restarted. 40 minutes till a champion, Ed. This is great stuff.
Away we go. Escape with a tackle down the touchline. And Ardsley tried to grubber there, but he was met at the halfway line, and now it's taken back by Wilson.
Yeah, it's coming back for a penalty, though, where the ball landed. Ardsley was interfered with after he kicked the ball. The live player, he doesn't have to change his path, but if he does change it into Ardsley's way, we'll listen to referee Ackroyd.
Reserve captain and number 8, please. Number 8, please. Number 8. Okay. Back, please. Kick by red. Kick forward. 8 made no attempt to get out of the way. Shoulder charge. Please. 8 made no attempt to get out of the way. Shoulder charge. It's going to be a penalty only. It's going to be in 15. Back 10, please. Captain, you have an option. Sorry. Excuse me. Other. Captain. So it's a late charge on the kicker. You have 3 options. Penalty where the ball was kicked, penalty where the ball landed, or penalty where the ball was played 7 meters out and in 15. Okay.
Easy choice there for Cooper Maloney. They'll take it where the ball was played to.
Oh, definitely. How about the dining options there from Ackroyd laying out St. Mary's? They pretty much had their pick of the litter there where they wanted to take that penalty. 7 out, and let's see, they're probably going to pack a scrum with the advantage. Very silly play from Life there. Already down 2 men. A professional foul like that. Not as they get 1 player back. Walsh comes back now. You see Ackroyd just motioning for him to come back on. That will be huge. Back to 14.
So you're going to be set up on the line. Penalty 7 meters out on the try line, please. Yeah, 7.
Marcus Walsh served his 10 minutes. Jake Anderson, the captain, still out for life.
Roll away, please.
Acting captain is Jake McFadden.
Scrum option. Scrum option.
So they take the scrum where the ball was kicked to, and this about 10 meters out, maybe less, and it'll be fed by Holden Youngert.
Watch the push here. They're really going to try to enforce their dominance, push this live scrum back, and hopefully earn themselves a penalty try. Referee Ackroyd will be looking very closely at how far back this live scrum goes.
Push red. Hold it red. Hold it green. Yeah, the ball is the offside line. Penalty advantage.
Inside of 5 meters. St. Mary's trying to punch it in near the try line.
Thank you, good, yes. Leave it green.
Here's McGowan, met by a pack.
Away, green, tackle.
Plucked away by Youngert. Here's the push, shy of the try line. Now Pratt down the gut. St. Mary's getting close. O'Connor now. Hill comes loose. Just a few meters shy of the try line.
8 green binding.
The referee Ackroyd coming back. No advantage gain from the live player not binding. A little stop and play. One of the players lost his boots out there. He's just doing his laces back up. Good stuff from him. But the pressure continues to mount here as St. Mary's just 5 meters out from the line. You'd expect they look at another scrum here. And here's the replay. This is the end of the play here. You see the little knock on. Very strong tackle from, that looked like Hiku Malu there underneath to force the error. And Ackroyd coming back for no advantage gain for the scrum infraction of breaking the bind early, and that was from the life 8.
Let's go down to Renee Herlocker. She caught up with St. Mary's head coach Tim O'Brien.
Yeah, coach is reserved by nature, of course, and he's a man of few words, but he seemed cool and calm coming out of the locker room. He's not going to change the game plan at all, and he just wants his guys to add some pressure, keeping it on the field nice and tight. And he says that the conditions really aren't affecting his guys at all, and he adds that it's really quite nice out here, guys.
Okay, Renee, 90-degree heat. It's only May. Why not?
Tim O'Brien, he will not be getting his own late-night show anytime soon. He is as grisly as they come, but he can coach rugby.
Crouch! Bind! Set! Are you talking to me? Okay, I didn't think you were.
Blaine McElroy, who's boss? He's 23 years old. He's been playing since the age of 4, but you can't know more than that guy.
Even if you do, you can't tell him that you know more than him, or you'll get in trouble.
Bind! Set!
Youngert feeds it in. Just shy of 5 meters. Pushing the pack. Ball inching closer. Taken towards the try line. Dotted down. A try for St. Mary's.
Great job from O'Connor there. The ball looked like it was about to spill out the back of the scrum. He does fantastic to reach back and pick that one up. Here we go on the replay. You see it come out the side. O'Connor, fantastic effort to get that and reach over. Big, tall athlete that he is, dots it down. It'll look great from this angle as you see the dominance of the St. Mary's scrum driving forward. There he's doing a little bit messy. What a good job from O'Connor though to reach back and get it. He's got to get all the boys a pat on the back there, especially his front rowers of Pratt and Waldron, who did a fantastic job pushing that live scrum back.
And now Dylan Audsley scored the first 13 points for St. Mary's. Comes the rush from McElroy, and he adds 2 more. Conversion, and St. Mary's, remember, there have been some close matchups, and last year was a relative blowout, up by 10.
It is, as we take another look at the try, and this, in terms of the momentum of the game, is huge because they're able to exploit that man missing yet again with another 5-pointer converted by Audsley beautifully. And last year, even though 21-6, the score was very, very close, right up until about 7 minutes to go. They scored 2 late tries that opened that up, but this one, definitely all St. Mary's now.
Open field for McGowan. This guy dynamic. Alec Barton now. Haven't mentioned him all that much. The flanker.
Release! Oh, back. Retreat, Green, retreat. Keep coming.
Up in the air, McGowan camped under it.
Not touched.
48th minute. This is the Division 1A National Championship.
Backwards.
Dangerous pass. They say it wasn't forwards. Gales in red and blue. They lead 20-10, trying to make it back-to-back national titles. Open field for Life University. McFadden. And now it's Baytops. Baytops. And a drop off inside the 5 meters, and play is stopped as it was developing for Life.
It certainly was. The first time I've heard you call Baytops today. Finally gets some quality ball out in the left wing, and boy does he make it count. Gribben will be absolutely filthy on himself putting that one down on the replay. The little bounce pass there comes out to McFadden. He links up beautifully. Watch the acceleration from Baytops there. Gets the Sonny Bill Williams offload away, and that last one there, Gribben just couldn't pull that one in. It looked like he was going to put that one down for his second try if he could get it into the old oven mitts there.
Thank you. Number 5 is back in. 5, captain.
Here from Phil Ackroyd, the captain, Jake Anderson. His 10-minute penalty is up. Remember, they were down 2 to start this half.
For team offences. Then we had a cynical offence by you. We've already had a yellow. Don't get a second yellow. That would be a red card. Discipline for the team. Up, please. Clear? Thank you.
Let's go, man. You gotta play the game, right?
You'd think after our meetings with Life, how disciplined, how regimented they were, it's kind of unusual to see them kind of doing this, giving away these silly penalties and these silly infractions that have cost them 2 yellow cards already.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Scrum here for St. Mary's, pinned deep in their own territory, and they take advantage. Carried out near 22 meters. That gets the crowd from Life going.
Certainly does. He's got him there for not releasing the ball. Life in their rights to play that on the ground. St. Mary's just didn't have the support there quick enough. He was very isolated. And you get the feeling with back to a full complement of 15 now, the crowd's up on their feet. They're starting to get very vocal. Momentum, I kind of get the feeling it's starting to shift here. If they can get some points on, it would really solidify that momentum swing.
I can't hear what you're saying. I can see you. Thanks. There's too much background noise over there. You got the front?
That's what happens when one of the schools is 20 minutes down the road. Gets lively for the fans cheering on Life. Now the line out.
Oh, say, back!
Pushing them all. Life inching towards the try line.
2 red.
A try for Life, and they're right back in this championship.
Huge turn of events there for Life. The silly penalty from St. Mary's not releasing the ball. Life turned it around, drive it down. What a beautiful driving maul that was. After their forwards have pretty much been dominated for the best part of 50 minutes here, and you see it on the replay. The ultimate forward try here is they get that unison together as they drive that ball over, and you see the fist pumps. The forwards know how important that is. 20 points to 15. St. Mary's holding on by 5 points. Conversion to come here. McElroy being perfect off the boot thus far this afternoon. See if he can keep that up, and it would bring them within 3 points. Just a penalty to tie things up.
Glenn Maricelli, he dotted down twice in the semifinal win against Lindenwood. A maul for Life, and he's the recipient of those 5 points. McElroy curls around to it. A conversion for Blaine McElroy, his second. He has 7 points today. Brand new contest here for a title.
Yeah, that was a very quick swing, wasn't it? Almost immediately as Life got back to their full complement of 15, momentum started to shift, and they solidified that right there with that try. It's up to St. Mary's now to dig in and start going back to that rugby that was working for them early in the first half.
Huge response from Life University. Heard the edicts from our referee, Phil Ackroyd. You mentioned the focus that we saw yesterday in the walkthrough to get ready for this match. It's a Life team that has 6 freshmen and 2 sophomores among their starting 15, so they've been here, but they're young, and now they're right back in this match.
Yeah, you've got to wonder, though, the experience that St. Mary's has in championship games. A few older players there. Will that be a telling factor later in the game?
It was there for the taking, and now it's St. Mary's with the possession. Ryan Pratt, loose head, big 5'11" senior. McGowan broke 1 tackle. Pill loose.
Yeah, big error there. You can see the crowd really have come to life during the last 10 minutes. No pun intended, the life crowd. And that mistake from McGowan could be costly. A little handling error. He's been very quiet in the second half, McGowan. We've hardly mentioned his name. He needs to start injecting himself more. We talked about that heavily taped ankle, perhaps giving him some trouble. But St. Mary's need him to put them on his shoulders and carry him home here.
Keep your hips nice and tight on that scrum, please. Right in here, please. Keep it straight. No swinging out. Thank you. Crouch. Bind. Set.
Marcus Walsh was out earlier. Now he's back to feed the scrum.
Onside, get onside.
Here's McFadden. Open play for Life. Oh, big takedown. The tackle by Henry Hall slows down Life U, and they'll punt it away. McElroy, met by Maloney. Along the touchline, trying to cut it back in. Estevan Flores lowering his shoulder. 56th minute, Life on the move. Trying to get closer, they're down 3 points. Pill loose on the pitch. Recaptured by Life. Oh, a throwdown on the far side. Dan, so much for the Heat. The intensity really picking up right now.
Oh, how about that? Both teams just throwing caution to the wind. Oh, man, Life almost pinched that one away. Now St. Mary's on the counter.
Go up and get it. Didn't work. Ardsley cut back. Spun down. Keeps it alive for McGowan. There he goes. Dotted down. And a try for St. Mary's on the counter.
End-to-end stuff, exhausting. Ed Cohen up here is almost passed out, calling the action. That exciting little exchange of play between both teams there. And Kingsley McGowan, we talked about him as we look on the replay. It could have gone the other way right there for Life. He just couldn't get a hand on it. He tries to bat it back. And then Ardsley, the star of the game thus far, steps a few inside like a couple of parked cars there. And then he pops it back to McGowan. McGowan showing a clean set of heels, a little fist pump. Look how pumped up McGowan is. He dots that one down. And St. Mary's, they stretch things out to a 10-point lead again. A little bit more comfortable, and the crowd has definitely been silenced.
And again, it's that guy off the turnover at the point of attack, and it leads to McGowan, the senior with speed from Houston, Texas.
it just goes to show how quickly things can swing in these games, these championship games. Big moments, big pressure. The big pressure creates diamonds, and those players are usually the ones that shine in these finals. Unfortunately, they're for life. The ball just doesn't go to hand. Next thing you know, we're 70 metres down the field. McGowan scores.
So with the conversion, 27-17, St. Mary's back up by 10. Bobbled, taken back by Life.
Advantage over.
Taken in by Baytops. Sidesteps the touchline. Tyrus Baytops, a key piece on the left wing on attack.
Interesting choice here for Life. They're down by 10. We've got McElroy, who's been laser-like with the boot. Do they take the 3 points to bring it back to 7, or do you push now for the try?
Back 10. Back
If they don't score here,
talk later. We'll talk later.
give St. Mary's a chance, and they are explosive.
There was a little bit of debate on what they're going to do. They're going to go for the try now. They're going to look for 7 points. Plenty of time left on the clock. 22 minutes left to play here. Probably the right option. I used to kick goals. I would have taken the 3 just to get the name in the paper.
You tried for NFL teams, let's put it that way.
That was punting, though. That was punting.
Good point.
I didn't want the pressure of field goals. You can lose a game as a field goal kicker. A punter, I can't do that. I could just lose my hot dog. That was the only thing I would lose.
He is Dan Power, Ahmed Cohen, Renee Herlocker on the sideline for this Division 1A National Championship.
Not straight, scrum option, red scrum. Time off water.
There's the water break. 60th minute with St. Mary's leading by 10 and just over 20 minutes left to a title.
We are down to 2 teams. It started with 38. The D1A USA Rugby Championships, 38 teams got it started, and there they are, broken up into the conferences. Teams from all over the country battled it out to be here today. I feel like I'm in the Highlander. There can be only one, though. We're down to 2, and it's absolutely cracker of a game thus far. Just see some of those teams there. Any of those resonate to you from up in your neck of the woods?
Absolutely. You see some of the East Coast schools, including all the way up in Buffalo. But what's great about this championship is you have a small school from Georgia dominant the last few years. Likewise for St. Mary's out west. And all those years when Cal, under the old format, was #1, 26 of 31 championships, it feels like the pool is far wider these days.
It is. It feels a much more open race. And Life, just a dedicated rugby school almost. They have 3 programs out there. The women's, who got knocked out in the semi-finals. The men's, who are here right today. They also have a postgraduate, like a men's club team there as well, who have been extremely dominant for the last 5 years as well. So credit to Dan Payne and Tui Osborne for the job they've done with that school.
Remember, they take the water break, and now after the line out was not straight, it leads to a scrum here for St. Mary's. Gales extending their lead to 10 after McGowan's try and the conversion from Dylan Audsley. It was 13-10 Gales at halftime.
Let's go, baby. Crouch. Bind. Set. 1, 2, 3. Ready?
Heads lock. Youngert feeds it. Snatched out by Halou. Vili Halou, brother of an NFL running back. Taken down, pass is whistled.
Great run from Halou there, showing some of those family traits as he streaks down the right. Unfortunately, the boot just touches the paint, and this gives Life another opportunity. That's Roy Halou from the Redskins.
And now the Raiders.
Now the Raiders. Awesome stuff.
Yeah, you might have to go that way.
A big line out for Life here, and secure this. They do so beautifully.
Middle of the field, takedown of Gribben.
Knock on advantage, Green.
Or the knock-on call, advantage for Life as the ball popped out.
By Red.
Hey, let's go, boys.
Okay. This is the point of the game, about 20 minutes to go, where you start to see the fatigue set in. A couple of little lapses in skill level starts to come off. A couple of little handling errors sneak in, and these are the times where teams will capitalise on those opportunities, and we get to find out who's been putting the extra work in terms of fitness in the gym, those kind of things. They win championships, the stuff you did 6 months ago.
Endurance test here in 90-degree heat.
Bind. Set.
Fed in by Walsh. He's got it now. Out wide, in stride for Van Skalkwyk. Let's go to Renee Herlocker with an update on Kevin O'Connor for St. Mary's.
So I spoke with athletic trainer, head of St. Mary's, Shelly Takata, and she says that normally there's only just minor bumps and bruises, and it's kind of astonishing to see that with this level of play with no padding that these guys walk away with just bumps and bruises. But Kevin O'Connor has sustained a shoulder injury and will be out for the game.
Okay, Renee, thanks. So lost there at the number 8 spot. In a game for a championship, 3rd consecutive year, it's Life in St. Mary's. The rubber match, if you will. St. Mary's won it last year, Life 2 years ago. You heard from Renee Herlocker. I'm Ed Cohen, next to Dan Power, Mike Cohen and Dave Hagan leading our crew here in Kennesaw, Georgia. Kennesaw State, great hosts to the USA Rugby Championships.
Thank you. Retreat, Green!
Up in the air, McGowan. Over the back grab. Audsley fakes the pass. Dino Waldron cut off. And they'll try to cut it to the other side. Taken back by Life. Careful here, Mark Gribben. Life on the move, they're down 10 in the 64th minute. McElroy out wide. Van Skalkwyk kicks it in chase. Couldn't field it, but they dot it down. Life strikes. And they chip away down the road from campus. What an effort.
Beautiful stuff there, and you see the beard, fear the beard, they told St. Mary's. Beautiful little stuff from the South African-born Van Skalkwyk as he chips this one over. May have been interfered with there on the outside from McCarthy. It doesn't matter though, as they dot it down, and Life decreased the deficit back to 5 points with a kick to come. There you go, in a sport renowned for its beards. That's one of the best right there. Looking like he should be on the mini-series Vikings instead of the rugby pitch. Beautiful stuff. So he gets a try. One of the big boys getting out wide and doing some damage. Good to see.
Always know where the trailer is. So 5 points, and now McElroy again. Couple of conversions, along with the penalty goal to kick off the scoring. To pull them within 3, and he does. 9 points for McElroy after the try for Xander Daniels, the prop in the right place at the right time, and he took the worst of it at the tail end of the try.
Yeah, you look at the replay, it looks like he may have come down, yeah, a little ginger there on the shoulder, the elbow area. And let me tell you, when props score tries, that thing grows by the meter, by the minute. By the end of the night, he ran 80 for that one, the big unit Daniels. Good stuff.
Another native of Missoula, Montana. He has played almost every position in his 3 years at Life. So the kick leads to the goal. And a great finish is brewing here north of Atlanta. Who will the third time go to? Who will get the charm? St. Mary's, they love it in open play. Spread it out. McGowan. Out wide for Pratt. Up the gut, hanging on, Dino Waldron. And Dan, they're using all the field right now.
Well, they certainly are. Continuity here is very impressive. The phase play as Ardsley goes wide to Maloney now. But they're looking very dangerous. They're stringing the phases together. Life is starting to show some signs of fatigue here.
And to the heart, Alec Barton. Ardsley tried to pooch it. Casey O'Reilly off the bench, number 16 for St. Mary's. Fake by Barton. Inside of 22 meters. Ardsley. Had a huge game.
13. This gentleman here. 13.
We go Gribben coming in from the side. Costly penalty. Interesting choice here, up by 3. A penalty puts them up by 6, takes them out of the threat of having the game tied up on a penalty or a drop goal, but leaves them open to a converted try, putting them 1 point behind. They have fantastic territory. Could be an option here just to kick this one into the corner, go for the line out and just try to grind out a try here and really break the hearts of the Life team.
Green coming off, number. No sub, Green. Shot a goal. Shot.
There we go, taking the points, giving themselves a 6-point buffer here in the run home. About 12 minutes left on the clock, left to play here. Could be a good option. Ardsley has hit the ball very well with the exception of that first penalty he missed very early on in the game.
Converted a drop goal and later a penalty goal in the first half. Dylan Ardsley. 27 points in the quarterfinal against Utah. 17 last week against Davenport. 69th minute. Ardsley for a 6-point lead. Perfect. 30-24 St. Mary's.
Never in doubt that one off the educated right boot of Ardsley. Absolutely sensational. A little bit of tension, a little bit of anticipation from the touch judges there. They left me guessing for a little bit. I'm like, that's right down the middle. Put the flags up, boys. They left me hanging. I was getting a little bit nervous, but probably the right option there from St. Mary's. Holds on to that 6-point lead. A little bit easier to defend that, especially in the red zone if they're defending late. If you give up a penalty, 3 points, you know they can't take the 3 to win the game here, so they can really hold on.
Have to keep you on your heels. Keep you ready.
Keep you nice and tense. If you're not tense enough already in a championship game, you're a little more tense now.
Jump ball taken down by Halou as we near the final 10 minutes here in the national championship. St. Mary's up by 6, trying to make it back-to-back titles. A seesaw second half. Life's only lead was at 3-0. They did tie it at 10. They've been behind since. And now taken into touch and a man down for Life. I believe it's Tyrus Baytops.
Yeah, heavy collision here. Watch this accidental bit of friendly fire. Oh, nasty head clash there between Wilson and Baytops. It's bad enough when you take a big collision. It's even worse when it's your own teammate.
Time is off.
And that could be big because Baytops is the kind of guy who could open things up here late in the game, turn things with an 80-meter run.
His own player. Yeah, it's his own player.
Both players down, getting attention too. I think Wilson, top of his head, came into heavy contact with Baytops' chin. Both teams, though, probably getting a nice little break here, considering the conditions, a little impromptu water break to help brace them for this final 10 minutes.
So Baytops move his left arm, so that's good. And taking a close look at him. And we're going to see this collision again. Remember, no equipment above the neck here. So head on head. It's like a high-speed collision for a guy from Charlotte, North Carolina. Was a running back in football, a shooting guard and a point guard in basketball. He only knows one way, and that's fast. And he runs right into the fullback, Mitchell Wilson. He needs a tape right now at this juncture.
Yeah, a little cut on top of the head there of Wilson. Not surprising considering the velocity of that collision. And the main concern now, obviously, with Baytops. Like you said, though, it's always very positive when you can see him move the fingers, the hands, the arms. That's the big concern first, to make sure the neck's okay. And I think it's more or less just concussion protocol now. So what you'll probably see happen, that'll end the afternoon for Baytops. He's going to have to take an early shower for precautionary reasons. At the end of the day, it's the right option.
Last week scored on a 70-meter try. So he's explosive for a team that's known for its physicality. St. Mary's loves to play open, so for Life, those playmakers huge in this type of game.
Yeah, it certainly does. I'd like to see them get back to that grinding style, though, here in the last 10 minutes. This is where championships are won and lost. And I think that grinding style, to steal a terminology from American football, defense wins championships. Yeah. And it's going to be that gritty style of defense and even offense as well that will get Life back into this game.
Great sign, Baytops on his feet. Crowd wishing him well as they send him off.
Knocked by red, knocked by green, green scrum.
So the clock continues to run here in the 71st minute after a delay of 3 or 4 minutes with Baytops on the pitch.
Crouch! Come on, baby! Bind! Set!
Walsh feeds the scrum.
He's got it for intentionally wheeling the scrum there. As a defensive scrum, if you can wheel it 90 degrees past its original formation, you then take possession. If you intentionally try to pull the scrum to wheel it, it's a penalty, and that is a good call from Ackroyd there. A little bit of trickery on the part of St. Mary's, trying to milk an easy possession. He has none of that, and now it gives Life an opportunity to drive this deep into St. Mary's territory, take a line out. We saw the more work from early this half. Let's see if they go back to the same recipe.
30-24, St. Mary's in this Division 1A National Championship. Third straight year these two teams meet. They split the title match the last 2 years. Called the rubber match in this 3-year cycle. Off the lift, Malou able to tip it to his teammate. Life on the move, down by 6.
Away, tackler!
jostling for extra position. We see Anderson and Malou working hard.
Away, Red!
The lock and flanker. Little more space here for Maricelli.
Thank you.
Walsh fires it out. McElroy drags a man. That was Hall in the tackle by the ankles. Along the touchline, near the try line. It's close.
Advantage, high tackle.
Life knocking on the doorstep.
Tackled, didn't release Green. Marks here, original penalty, high.
So they move the mark out here, Dan.
High tackle, yeah, you hear that shrill whistle that close to the line, you start thinking they've scored a try. Some of the coaching staff from Life start celebrating a little early, but it's a penalty. They're coming back. He was playing an advantage for a high tackle, so the pressure continues to build here. St. Mary's doing all they can to defend their line.
Got the front ball.
And we go to the line out, kick for the touch. Again, we'll go to the rolling maul here, look for Halou to pull this one down, and then they're going to start driving that thing towards the try line.
All eyes on him, Blaine McElroy. If Light can notch a try here, it comes down to his foot to take the lead. Down by 6 right now. Into Anderson. Pushing the ball.
17 Green took that down. 17 Green took that down.
That is an absolutely huge play from St. Mary's. You could hear referee Ackroyd, 17 Green took it down. Life trying to maybe milk a penalty try there by pulling their own maul down. St. Mary's did fantastically well to defend it. They've earned themselves a scrum and a chance to relieve some pressure here by kicking this ball out of their own end.
Castle Creighton, another native of Missoula, Montana, number 17 for Life. So this scrum will be fed by Youngert at 5 meters.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
He's got the go-ahead.
Release Green, no hands. Counter ruck is good.
On the counter ruck. Again near the try line. And Life gets the benefit of the whistle there.
The running Eagles just burrowing in there like a couple of demented moles, going for that ball and force the turnover right back. St. Mary's probably a little bit tentative off the back of the scrum, more worried about the pick than the actual scrum, and they've lost possession for that.
Life down 6 points, 76th minute here in the championship.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Heads lock. Walsh feeds it in. Inside of 5 meters. Life pushing. Getting closer. McGowan fighting there. The tackle. It comes outside to Platter. Life has to open it up. Wilson, the cutback. Heard the mark call. Walsh spun down. Another takedown.
No advantage. 6 Red, not rolling.
He's got Halou there for not releasing the tackle play. They're going to go quickly. Oh, no. The replacement and Platt. Oh, he's got him for not the mark. I thought he'd gone quickly and knocked that on.
I hadn't given him the mark.
Ackroyd lets him off the hook there. What a huge relief for Life.
Kyle Platter catches a break from the whistle.
Stay on the line, Red.
And they'll try the line out once again, 77th minute. Remember, Life, they're down by 6, so they need a try, and they have to come through on the conversion.
Poor Tui Osborne, you see there, probably no fingernails left at this point. This is a nail biter. This is everything you want from a national championship game.
Knockout advantage, Red.
Anderson dropped it on the lift. St. Mary's with it. And punted out of trouble by Dylan Audsley. Into touch, just shy of 22 meters.
Touched and more than 2 at the line.
So you see Life going quickly there. Because it was touched by one of the spectators, the ball is essentially dead. If it was caught by a Life player, you can play on quickly with a quick line out at any point behind where it crossed the sideline. Play on. Because it touched a spectator, we're going back to dead ball, which probably works out better for Life because they picked up another 30 yards here and then a nice set piece to attack from.
Nearing 2 minutes left. Life from right down the road in Marietta, Georgia, trying to make it 2 titles in 3 years. Taken down by Anderson, the captain. Touchdown. Flag came up.
Excuse me. Back in the belts, please. Yep. Thank you. Touch called.
A little bit of chit-chat there from the Life bench to the referee about some of his calls. But St Mary's now with a chance to line. Look at them taking their time, milking every second possible off this clock. The gamesmanship, sensational stuff there. Just like a Tim O'Brien press interview, just trying to go as slow as possible.
Cool, calculated, gets the job done. 79th minute and counting. And now the ball.
That ball is out. Unbound. Leave him!
Activity on the far side. Life with room. Here they come. It's Flores spinning, trying to push it. Open field near side. Out it goes. Van Skalkwyk cuts it back. Inside 5 meters. Life pressing down by 6. The cutback. The whistle as they were moving towards the try line.
He ran into me.
Sergio Ackroyd using him as an obstruction there, bumped into him for a little while, so they're going to come down. They do retain possession though on the scrum here, and we're talking seconds left on the clock here, 79:30 on the clock you can see on your screens, viewers. It's probably a little bit longer. We had some injury time with Baytops.
We had the right to steal that.
But it's very close to the end here. This will probably be the last good opportunity that Life have.
Final minute.
The time is dead.
They need a try and a conversion to go ahead. But first they need the 5.
This is how you want to see a championship ending. St Mary's are going to earn this, or Life's going to earn this by scoring. This is the way you want to see things end.
No one has said set.
Phil Ackroyd didn't like the setup in the scrum, so Life and Walsh will feed it. We fit 80 minutes plus. They will lock heads as Life tries for the comeback and a chance to win.
Bind! Set!
Taken out by Life. Near the try line. Daniel slings it out. Shy of the try line. Trying to extend it.
Release! Hands away now! Hands away, Red! Ball is there, Green! Hands away!
St. Mary's not budging. Released by Green by Life. McElroy hands off. Gribbin trying to barrel forward. He's short. Plucked away. Still shy, out 5 meters. Fed to the middle. Here they come. Do they get the extension?
Really? No, 2 Red, no.
Incredible finish. Life on its last legs. Near the try line. Waiting for a signal. They're not there yet.
Release, tackle at Green, 15, roll away. Back.
St. Mary's with it. Kicked out of trouble.
I didn't see it, no.
Life was right there. It was snared by McGowan.
Back. John.
We wait for a signal. Not just
I
yet.
didn't see it. Was there? Did you see a knock on in goal by Red?
No, I just saw him fall
Okay.
over and he kept.
I want to go to video review. Check to see if there was a knock on in goal by Red. Video review, please.
Well, let's just add a little bit of extra drama into this. They're going to have a look at the TMO here to see if Dylan Audsley has dropped this ball. If he hasn't, I believe the game is over. Some areas have won. If he has knocked it on, it cannot end on that. We're going to have a 5-meter scrum.
We're going to get
Let's take a look at the
review,
replay.
please. Video review.
Great
Check
turnover
for a
from
knock-on
St. Mary's
in goal.
here.
Thank you.
The man you want to watch is the back of your screen right now. You're going to see the pass back to Audsley. This is a play before it from McGowan. We're going to move forward. It's the next play right here. Nope, we're going back too far. That's Life University with the ball again.
That's not the frame. Want to see the steal. Want to keep going. Stolen legally by Red. Okay, here we go. Keep it running, please. Keep it running.
How about the drama,
Keep
the
it
tension,
running.
the buzz? I'm loving this. What a finish to a final.
Inches for a title.
Oh, it's just
didn't
off
see- I
camera
didn't see.
too.
No comment.
Unbelievable
Do you
stuff.
have any other angles?
Now, Phil Ackroyd is watching what you are seeing on the scoreboard, communicating with our truck
That was a
to
legal
get the
steal
right
by
look.
2 Red, who was on his feet.
This is essentially a live review for the fans and everyone watching.
Okay, it's the catch right here, and it's not caught on camera.
Doesn't have the looks, it sounds like.
So after 2 reviews, I didn't see any hint
Comes
of a
down to the
knock-on.
honesty policy.
So no hint of a knock-on in goal. So the kick to touch is fine, and that is the end of the game.
That's it. Review is finished, and it says St. Mary's winners in 2015. Back-to-back titles for the Gales.
Ladies and gentlemen, as a reminder, no one is allowed on the field except coaches, players, and officials. That's coaches,
As advertised in the rematch. What a finish.
What a finish, and there is Dylan Audsley, the absolute champion of the game, MVP, and he scored 20 of the 30 points. Not only that, he was the man that got that ball out of touch at the end to win the game. How about the drama of going to the TMO? What a final. Beautiful stuff.
So St. Mary's, this time, they had to fly across the country to the East Coast. And in a thrilling finish at the try line, Dylan Audsley and the Gales victorious. 30-24, champions in 2015 over Life. Back with more from Georgia right after this.
Love you, Mom.
All 80s before. Great game, boys. Bring
the California Kids come to Georgia and win another national title, 30-24 over Life University. And the star was Dylan Audsley, the MVP, with Renee Herlocker.
Dylan, congratulations not only on the win, but MVP for your team. 20 of the 30 points. How'd you do it?
Well, you know, I've put in a lot of work this year. We all have. And I got to thank my teammates, man. I mean, just them being there for me. I mean, you can go forward, but if someone's not there, then it's not going to work out. And I mean, it's really a team effort.
2 out of 3 championship wins must feel pretty good.
You know what? I mean, it's just on to next year for me. I want to do well in school. It's not all about the rugby, but a lot of it is about the rugby, and I put a lot of time into it, so it's fun. It's good.
Well, go enjoy your team. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
The junior comes through, St. Mary's victorious, and what a finish here in Georgia.
What a finish. Championships are earned, not given. St. Mary's earned every one of that.
Sweat.
Beautiful stuff from them. Congratulations to Tim O'Brien and the boys. Commiseration to Tui and Life, though. What a championship.
Final score, 30-24 St. Mary's. So, for Dan Power, Renee Herlocker, and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Ed Cohen. The Gales champions again in 2015 as we say goodbye from Kennesaw, Georgia.